Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Summer of Access webinar series. Just opening up the Zoom room a minute early. Let everyone get into the space here, get comfortable. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for returning. Thanks to seeing some new names coming through in the waiting room here. Welcome. Feel free to say hello. Hi, Jennifer, in the chat. Let us know where you're calling in from today. So hello, where are you calling in? Welcome back. Thanks for coming. Really excited about today's session. Just gonna, as you're saying hello, let us know where you're calling from. Deb's coming in from Colorado. Hi, Deb. Thanks for joining. Thanks for returning. Great. Hi, all. Nicole from Chicago. From one Nicole to the other Nicole. I'm coming in from Rhode Island. Hello from Connecticut. Catherine. Hotlanta, Georgia. Is Jen? Okay, I'm so gullible. Is that a joke? Is that a real place?
I mean, it's Atlanta, but we get so hot in the summer that it has a nickname in
I've never
Hotlanta.
I've never heard that. That's so funny. Hi, Alan. Hi from Melbourne, Australia. Welcome, 3 a.m. Oh, you're a trooper. Hello, Caitlin from Columbus. Maggie from Illinois, 3 hours south of Chicago. Baltimore, Maryland. Jennifer. Okay, very good. We still have some more people joining us in the weight room. There you go. Hello, hello, everyone. As you're joining us, let us know where you're calling in from. Great. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for the new people that are here from our first session. Okay, I'm going to put something in the chat. These are the session slides and the scanning tool that Dill is sharing with us today. So I'm going to put it in. I'll probably put it in a few times just because these people are joining. I want them to be able to have access to it. And so, as you know, in Zoom, you can't get access unless you have been part of the session. So hello, welcome from North Carolina. All right, everyone. So this session today is building free WCAG, the Web Content Accessibility Guideline tools for under-resourced institutions, lessons from A11yGuidance. This is brought to you from L'Etoile Education and the Accessibility Learning and Development Community. I am Nicole L'Etoile, and I'm welcoming all of you, and then we'll introduce our presenter here today. The first thing before we actually get into that is just a reminder about the Zoom reminders about the Zoom reminders. Talk about redundancy. Please stay muted unless speaking. Use the chat or raise hand feature if you'd like to ask a question or make a comment. Recordings will be shared in the Accessibility Learning and Development Slack community following. And we also have live captions and transcripts. Hello, Wanda from California. Thanks for joining in. I'd like to welcome to the conference or to the session Dill Rawat. Dill is a web developer and accessibility practitioner based in Ohio. He recently completed his MS in Computing and Information Systems at Youngstown State University, where he built A11yGuidance, a free WCAG scanning and plain language remediation tool for under-resourced public sector institutions. He holds a DHS Trusted Tester for Web Certification and focuses on creating accessible websites. Please join me in welcoming Dill to the stage. Dill, you may take it away. I will stop my share.
Thank you, Dr. Nicole, for the opportunity. And hello, everybody. Now, let me start by sharing slides. So that would be the best thing to do. So, okay, so I hope you can see my slides, right?
So far, so good on my end.
Hello, everybody. I'm Dil. I recently finished my master's at Youngstown State University, and today I'll be sharing what I learned building and deploying a free accessibility tool. And also, this is my first time presenting in this big crowd and this big, diverse group of people. So I'm a little bit nervous. Please be gentle with me. And moving on. So who I am and what this session is about. I built and deployed A11yGuidance while a graduate researcher. Now I've accepted a full-time web developer position at a state level university, and they have to maintain web accessibility for their websites. And this is an experience report, and your feedback will be appreciated at the end. So the reason why I started this project, the reason why we started working on this one is because in 2024, as you know, DOJ introduced a Title II web rule saying, hey, all the state and local government website has to be accessible. And the deadline was 2026 and 2027. However, they extended it by a year. And the reason they mentioned was limited staff, limited budget, and lack of reliable auto remediation AI tools. That's what it says in the extension that DOJ posted online. However, the compliance standard is still WCAG 2.1 AA. Moving on, who falls through the gap, meaning who does this matters to? It So mostly what we have seen is small schools, libraries, towns, and non-profit websites have the accessibility issues. Most of the time they use CMS, for example, Drupal or WordPress or any other CMS, and uh, when they use the CMS, they give access to the multiple users and they make changes to their sites, and they might not have the accessibility knowledge. And for example, there could be communication staffs or teachers or office manager. They know that the violation exists on their websites, but they usually have hard time fixing it. So this early work is to minimize that gap, like to help them understand how to fix it or how to reach out to the person who can fix it. And before I give you the demo and everything, okay. Oh, sorry, I skipped a slide. So what we built and the design constant. So when building, we wanted to make sure that it is free and you don't require any sign up accounts or anything like that. And the second is it should be usable by both technical and non-technical staff. And third would be just don't not just detecting the issues or errors, also helping them understand them, and so that they will be at least able to know what the those error means. And the next slide is about the demo. So here, before I start the demo, I want to let you know, guys, that this is built on top of Xcore engine, and the Xcore engine is the industry standard open source tool, like engine that has been used by many other tools. I didn't want to develop it from the scratch because I didn't have time, and it will take years of experience to do that. So let's get started with the demo. Okay, so this you have the access to this too, like you have the URL, and this is the home page. Here, let me remove this. Here you'll have the input field to put your URL. You can grab the URL, paste it, and run the edit. For that, I have a test page, and here I have a navigation menu. I have the hero section. I have the community gallery and things like that. And from my point of view, I cannot see any issues because I don't have any source of disability or I'm not using any assistive tools. I can just grab the URL, copy the URL, and paste it here. And I can run the edit. It will take a few seconds. Behind the scene, it's opening the web page and it's running through the violation and reporting us the violation report. So here I have, on that page I have 12 violations, as you can see. And before I go into more detail, let me explain these three tabs here. The first one will be the accessibility audit tab. Second will be the image inventory. It grabs all the images from your web page, and the helpful thing about this is it will tell you which image doesn't have alternative text. And if it has alternative text, it will tell you do the manual review because that might not be descriptive enough. And the link checker will uh, try to send a request to the links available on the page. And if it doesn't get 200 OK status code, that means the link might have a problem, and you can do a manual check for the link. And the link might be a dead end, it might not be loading anything. And back to the accessibility audit, it is categorized based on different category and also the level of urgentness. For example, we have the color contrast, and it says serious. And if you open this one up, it will tell you where the color contrast issue is. For example, we can look at the first one. It says submit request, and it's a button, right? If you go back here and if you look at it, the submit request, it has really bad color contrast ratio between the background and the text. And how do we fix it? What does it mean? So we can click on the remediation guide here, and it will take you to the guide section of the site, and it will tell you who this affects and why it matters. So the reason we put this at the top is because we wanted to put the people who are making changes to the website in the shoes of the people who has accessibility needs. Probably people with the low vision might not be able to see this button, and they will understand, hey, we know that like people with the low vision will have a hard time seeing that button, and we should fix it. How we fix it? And it will also have information about the color contrast ratio that you have to have for a normal text or the larger text. You'll also have the code blocks on recommended and how to avoid approaches. Plus, additionally, we also have the resources here, and it will take you to the different resources like a color contrast checker or color blindness table and few other resources. And on the on the left side of it, you have the sidebar, and you'll have the different topics here you can pick and choose. But when you do the audit, it will be linked to the specific audit, sorry, specific errors or violations. We plan to add more to it, and this is very in early stage. Okay, you can go and test the web page, whichever web page you like. And let me go back to the slides. Okay, and one more thing I want to say: you can print the violations here. If you click it here, you can print it and share it to the person who has to fix the issues, or like share it to the technical person if you want to. So it's the same for every tab. Like you can download the report for every single tab, or you can download the whole report from here on top. And let me go back to the slides.
Dill, when you're ready, we do have some questions, so I want to be mindful. Let me know when
Okay.
you're ready for those, and we can ask them. But
Okay. So is it about the demo? If it is, I can take it.
yeah, let's go to the demo. So I'm just gonna go through the chat here, and if I miss anything, folks, just let us know, raise your hand, and let's ask. But there was a question about, can this be used with Canvas? Can this be used with a learning management system? And so, what is your um, yeah, what's your response to that?
Uh, as of now, our current focus is to scan a public web page. So if it is public and it is accessible by me and anybody else, then you can put the URL there. And this is not for the document. This is just for the web pages and websites.
Thank you. And then another question was, is this scanning page by page or is it scanning so if I put a link in there, is it going to scan all my web pages or just the one page at a time?
Just a one page at a time.
Okay.
So our future work section, like we have the future work slide, and there I mentioned that multi. So we plan to do the multiple pages at once, but that's future work. Right now, it does only one page, whichever page you paste the URL of.
Okay. Thank you. Those were the two that I came across. So is there any other questions that you want to ask about the demo before we go forward? I'll open it up to the group. Yeah, Canvas LMS has a built-in accessibility scanner that will scan a course, but it's not as robust as this demo. There are, yeah, that's true, Deb, and there are other ones that do work with specifically for Canvas at this time. And
Okay, so if there are no more questions, then I will go back to slides.
okay, yeah, go ahead, Dill. Thanks.
Okay, so welcome back. I'm just kidding. So, uh, there are a few things that we have to consider, and if somebody tells you that, hey, automated scanner tools will uh, scan everything and catches every issues or errors on your page, then um, that could be wrong, because automated scanning tools catches around one third. Some mention 30 to 50%, and so there are a few things that it does well, and there are a few things that you have to do the manual testing. For example, it would catches the missing alt text or color contrast issues or heading order if they are like not in good order, or if they are missing labels, or if they don't have landmarks, then it catches those. But it cannot tell you if the alternative text for the image is good or not. You could just say image instead of describing the whole image, right? And it won't be able to judge it. It will say the alternative text is present there, but it won't be able to judge it. And focus order, or how the content is written, is it easily readable by everybody? It can. So those things, it has to be done by manual human testing. And so in our experience, what we have seen is the main lesson of the whole project is detection is already solved, like many tools do that. And what's not like looked at it is uh, the plain language explanation of the what the issues is, what are the errors, and things like that. So what we try to do is every single guide entry, we try to explain who this affects, why it matters, what to do, and what to avoid, and some code examples. So the person who is updating, or who is making changes to the website, might not be an experienced developer, or might not have a lot of accessibility experience. So um, the plain language matters more or as much as detection. As of now, we have two deployment stories. The Youngstown State University, it's in Ohio, has a web team, and they use this as a supplemental resources. They pay thousands of dollars to the vendor, but they also use this one as additional resources. And the other one is really small group of people, is a non-profit community, and they use it to make their website more accessible. And they have used it, and they don't have the dedicated team of accessibility experts. So these are the second, the Okil non-profit are the kind of organization that I'm hoping, or we are hoping, that this tool will be useful to. And so we also did a formative pilot study. We only had 4 student web editors, and we asked them to fix 10 violations. We gave them the page that had issues, and two of them cleared all violations, and within 30 minutes average time, their confidence and familiarity with uh, web accessibility grew. And to be honest, we need a larger study. Only four people is not a good study, and we plan to do that in future.
There's a question, Dill, when you're ready. Take your
Got
time.
it. And
Are you ready for the question, or do you want to continue?
let me do. There are like only three, four more slides, and
Sure.
three more slides, and I can take the questions.
Okay. Thanks.
So, uh, s- during our experience while building this one, what we have seen through the scans of hundreds of websites are these are the most common issues, like missing alternative text for the images, color contrast, heading order, REM issues, and missing landmarks. So these are not that difficult to fix it if you are a developer or if you have some experience with the digital accessibility or web accessibility. And our tool has a section for these. And so this I just wanted to like show what are the main issues. And the one thing that we s- we have like thought through is a small team. If you are like, let's say, team of one people, or if you don't even have a team, then how you gonna tackle the web accessibility? Then you can use the ally guidance to scan it, and it has the plain language guidance plus shareable reports. Also, you can use web tool and browser booklets that will help you to do the in-page visual checks. And thanks to Alan Smith, he helped me to introduce to the bookmarklet. Also, you can do the accessibility inside for web. That is for the guided manual test that I mentioned earlier. That not everything will be not everything will be sorry detected by the automation tool, so you have to do the manual testing. And you can do keyboard and screen reader test as always. And the lesson that we learned from this one is first that the guide was harder to build than the scanner. So we spent hours going back and forth with my advisor, um, and we had to do the many revision than the scanner itself. Second, we try to reach out to many institutions, say, hey, this is what we have. Do you wanna uh, you have issues on your website? Do you want to use it to fix it? And it was difficult because they didn't have any dedicated web accessibility person. Or we have the cold email outreach was difficult. And third is if you are building any tool for your team or for your organization, and if you are the only person, then you have to pick the most important items at first, and you cannot do everything. And the future work is we have planned our multi-page scanning. So when you paste the URL, it will scan, let's say, 10-15 pages at once, and it will have a user login and history plus expanded guide. Right now we have limited around 1920, but we want to expand it to more. Uh, and the resources section for manual testing, like bookmarklet and few other resources that are really, really good for doing the manual testing. And this is the end. Thank you. Any feedback would be appreciated. And I hope I did good.
You did great, Dill. We do have some follow-up questions. Thank you so much for this presentation. What an awesome tool. Thank you. Um, there was a question around, could you show us a report? So I believe it was the printed example of a printed report. And
Okay.
then there was a after that there was a question around does this work with all main browsers? Will it work with Chrome, Firefox, Edge, and Safari, etc.?
Yes, it does work with any browser. You just paste the URL, so it shouldn't matter with the browser.
Okay.
Let I have tested with the Safari, I have tested Chrome, I have tested with the Firefox. I haven't tested with the Microsoft Edge. And let me download the report. Why not? So we have it here, and we have the report. Let's say print accessibility report. Let's say print it, and I'm gonna save it as a PDF. And oh, sorry, let me save it in desktop. Okay, got it. Let me open the URL. Sorry, the report. For example,
Just so you know, we're not seeing anything. I don't know what you shared when you did your share because we're just seeing the Alley guidance page right now, if that helps.
e-
Okay.
okay, so does it let me? Oh yeah, I clicked on the print button, and it doesn't show it when we share the screen. So now we should be able to see it. I downloaded it, and this is the scan report. So for example, it will on top it will tell you the time, and it will tell you the URL that you scanned. You can oh sorry, let me go back. URL that you scanned, and it will tell you the what are the issues and the impact level for each error or violations. So this is the report. And the other question is, can it be used as Chrome plugin? No, this is a standalone web page or web application. Uh, I don't think that it can be used as a Chrome plugin. Sorry, you have to paste the URL in there.
You mentioned the bookmarklet. So, I with Wave or certain bookmarklets, did you say that this could become a bookmarklet on your browser? Did I miss that?
Sorry, no.
Oh,
I had a good talk with the Alan Smith
okay.
on Tuesday. So he mentioned about like right now, everything that I have is for the automated testing. So I have the resource page here, and here I mentioned automated scanning tools, simulation, and education, like courses. So he mentioned that it would be good to have a section for the manual testing, and for example, bookmarklet. So there was one very good resource he showed me, and I plan to add it here, and so that like people who are doing manual testing would be easily would be able to find it easily.
Thank you.
Oh,
So, was there other questions that we want to ask still while we're here? And also, Dill, thank you, for presenting this as a work in progress as well. And again, your presentation was great. Don't beat yourself up
thank
about
you.
that. You're doing a great job. Um, is there questions can sometimes help spark something, right? That could help improve or give you something to think about going forward. So any questions that you have for Dill would be helpful. And David does have a question. Can anyone use this at this time?
Yes, this is public and live. Anybody can use it from anywhere. And like if anybody has any feedback, let me paste my email address again here. You can always send me a email, and hopefully I'll be able to explain it more, and it should help any small organizations to fix their issues and make their websites more accessible.
Awesome. Thank you. So if you've just joined us and didn't get the intro, this is a free open resource tool. You don't need an account to use it. And Dill has worked with his advisors and he is continuing to improve this tool, but it is fantastic. The download full report is nice. I agree, Alan. And just the way that visually pulled out the images and the links. To me, I use the Wave tool. So I'm familiar with the Wave tool. I do like how this visually was easy to read from that perspective in the plain language, of course. And your guide is pretty thorough there as well. So thanks so much. Thank you everyone to participating. You have Dill's contact information, and I'll get this recording out, and we appreciate you all. We'll see you. Summer of Access does continue next week, and then we take a break, and we'll finish back in, we'll have some sessions coming up in August. So I hope you continue to join us. I will put the link right now for the remaining Summer of Access sessions into the chat. And we look forward to seeing you in the next one. Have a great day, everyone.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Nicole.
You're welcome. Fantastic. I'm really excited for you in this project. I'm excited for everyone to have access to it. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.